Alright, RXD, we got part 2. So we're going to take a look at our NCX workout for Thursday the 16th. We're going to start out with some bodybuilding work that we don't normally get to focus on, and I like this kind of bodybuilding work for you guys because we don't focus on it. And we're going to take a look at how the shoulder works. So I'm able to pull my elbow back, I'm able to raise my arm forward, to the side, as well as like this. So we're going to be practicing moving in those directions, which we happen to do a lot of whenever we do any Olympic lifts. So let's see how well we can make that connection to our own muscles, get a little bit stronger today with these bodybuilding things, and then hopefully it will make an impact on our other types of lifting. So we have 3 sets, not for time. This is all for the best quality that you can make or have. 10 bent over row using a tempo, so it's going to be 2 seconds to the hip, 2 seconds at the hip, and then 2 seconds down, and then you go right into your next one. And then we have dumbbell front raise, so it's just going to about chin level. I'll show you guys what that looks like in a moment. And then we have lateral raise, and then we have an upright row, all using the same set of dumbbells, or at least trying to use the same set of dumbbells. So let's go over that bent over row first. Take my dumbbells, I have a slight bend in the knee, big bend in the hip, probably getting to about 45 degrees. So here's what it is from the side. I want to think about leaning my elbow back and pinching my elbows behind my back and bringing my hand towards my hip. Hold, 1, 2, back down, 1, 2. Pull up, 1, 2, hold, 1, 2. So if you guys think that's slow, you guys don't know what slow is. This is just a controlled tempo. So we want to see how well can we squeeze this lower part of the lat, thinking about pulling the hand to the hip and the elbows behind your back. So that's going to be our bent over row variation. The dumbbell front raise, I want to see this out of you guys. Let's strengthen the elbow in relation to the shoulder. So that means I need you to lock your tricep whenever we do these raise variations. So it's going to look like this. Slight bend in the knee. I'm going to lean just slightly forward. I'm going to lock the elbow as hard as I can. And I want to keep my shoulders nice and low as I lift these dumbbells to face height. This is our front raise. Our lateral raise is going to be a little bit similar. Slight bend in the knee. Now I want to see you guys more upright, so much so that you're almost leaning back. Hands right at the sides of your hip, and still flexing that tricep. Keeping the shoulders nice and low. And raising to about shoulder or face height. And those are our 2 raise variations. The max dumbbell upright row is what we have left. So before we had set rep schemes, now we're going to do a burnout set. With this, I want to see kind of that same position, slight bend in the knee, hips a little bit back, this time going back to forward. I'm going to pinch the heads of the dumbbells together, keeping them in contact, and a slight round forward in the shoulders. And I'm going to think about leading with the elbows to the outsides of my ears. I want to aim to feel this in my traps and my rear shoulder. So that's kind of like with all of these movements. We're going to play around with how that shoulder girdle works, and let's work to make it stronger. So that is 3 sets, not for time, for quality. Once you finish those upright rows, you have 90 seconds of rest in between your sets. If you're like, bodybuilding, it's slow, it's boring, it's hard. Yes, that's how you get stronger. The next part of this workout is for you. It's going to be large loads of work and a little bit more a lot more heavy breathing. So we'll see this. 50 dumbbell ground to overheads. If you watched the last video, I gave you 2 options for your ground to overheads. It is either a snatch or a clean and push press. Either way, I want to see you guys keep consistent with whatever movement pattern that you choose. So please don't switch it up on the reps. You have 50 dumbbell ground to overhead. You have 400-meter run. You have 50 sit-ups. With your sit-ups today, I would really like to see you guys go in that long lever position. So that means feet all the way out. That doesn't mean you have to keep them locked and straight. You can have a slight bend to them. But what you want to make sure that you do, and I've gone over this the past few workouts that I've demoed for you guys, is making sure that when we do a sit-up, it's not a crunch. So the difference is a crunch, I'm going to lead by flexing here first. I already have that forward posture, and then I'm going to roll myself forward. A sit-up, I'm trying to move from the hip itself. So it should look like this. Like a hinge, except I'm laying flat on the ground. So I want to make sure that there's no deviation in my back. It is a long lever movement. It is harder than a crunch. So if we don't have the ability to do a sit-up, then we should do a crunch and build our capacity to do one there. After our sit-ups, we have a 400-meter run, another one, and then we go back to doing our 50 dumbbell ground to overhead. And if you're tired and you're like, oh, I really want to switch up exactly what I'm doing, then we can do this. In your first 50 ground overhead, do snatch. In your second 50 ground overhead, do clean and push press. That way you can add that variety in, because I know you guys like that. And then we finish on another 400-meter run. We're looking at keeping all of these things to about 90 seconds to 2 minutes of work. So your 50 dumbbell ground to overhead, both sets should take you somewhere between 1:30 and 2 minutes. Same thing with your runs, same thing with your sit-ups. And that's gonna put us at 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, let's say a max of a 14-minute of a time cap. So we wanna finish within at least 10 to 12 minutes. Even if we're not a good runner, let's focus on where we can be good in this workout, in a ground to overhead or in the sit-ups. So I like this one for you guys today in the NCX workout. We're going to work some bodybuilding, work some kind of like direct strength with our shoulders, and then we're going to get into a kind of a chipper style workout with dumbbells and running. So as always, if you guys have any questions, please reach out to any of us coaches, and then make sure you go ahead and watch the NC HIT video before you watch this NCX video. Thank you guys. See ya.